And with that, welcome to Celestial Return. This video is a first impressions video. The folks from Metaphor Games wrote to me a few days ago and asked if I would be willing to take a look at it. It is only in demo, and that's what I'm playing here. The demo is available on Steam right now. I will put a link in the description of this video. They also, you can see they're going to do a Kickstarter that is going live a couple days from when I'm recording this video. I don't know if this game is any good. I don't know if you want to join the Kickstarter. I don't know if you want to play the demo. We're going to find out here. I'm going to see how it looks from the thing on Steam, from the trailer on Steam. It looks a lot like some kind of Disco Elysium meets Cyberpunk. I don't know, maybe I just desperately want a Disco Elysium sequel. I mean, that is true, there's no maybe. But there will never be another Disco Elysium. So let's try Celestial Return. Celestial Return Book 1. Oh, I see. It's going to be like a comic. Cool. Earth. Planet Zero, a world caught between the realms of sci-fi and supernatural. A world of contrasts where the daily grind of high-tech life is punctuated by the occasional brush with the bizarre. A technologically advanced civilization, its inhabitants are divided into augmented humans and those who have chosen to remain fully organic. Can I click this thing? Oh, Book 2. Looks like it's locked. Space. Beyond the pole of any world, the void stretches endlessly. Cold, silent, merciless. Between shattered moons and dying stars, the ruins of forgotten empires float in silence. Out here, there are no borders, only what you bring with you and what follows. Celestial Return Book 3. Hive. Hive, a colossal space station as vast as a planet, stands as the epitome of technological advancement and cybernetic integration. This sprawling megastructure is the heart and home of the Kot Wrath Zoo, a faction that has mastered the art of merging flesh with machine. Ooh, cool cyborgs. Let's back up here a second, and I think I already turned the volume down, but I think I'm gonna have to do it some more. Let's enter. Loading the work. Smoking whiskey. Look at the background, it's pretty cool. Howard sits alone at the counter in the Crow Jazz Bar, a refuge for those who've given up trying to keep pace with the city outside. Wow, look at the art. I love this art style. Oh, we can bring up the quest log. Unsurprisingly, there are no quests. We have no insights, which is typical for me, and we have no insight points available, whatever those are. I'm sure I'll explain it. Boosts, and a weird version of the human body. We have Daily Rocker's newspaper, a glimpse into Howard's past. This issue captures the wild chaos of a concert he played with his old band, a time when the stage was his battlefield. Howard's memo. If we hadn't brawled with the drummer and split up, maybe I'd still be rocking out instead of chasing down freaks. Goodies. Oh, I can't click. Oh, wait. Oh, that was weird. I can click on Howard's gun. It's not the caliber that matters. It's the stories etched into the steel. Close calls, long nights, and victories that cost more than they were worth. It's not flashy, but it gets the job done. And at the end of the day, that's what counts. Powder in a vial. Looks like it's going to spill. A powerful fibrinogen activating powder, and the only known way to kill abstracts. Their blood reacts violently, clotting it into an immovable mass that stops them for good. Without this vial, facing an abstract is a death sentence. Flashlight with a little hand thing there, right? A dongle. This isn't some high-tech implant or retina upgrade. It's a stick of metal with a bulb. Primitive maybe, but when the shadows move, this flashlight doesn't glitch. It just shines. Nether cigarettes. The last of a dying breed. Real tobacco, hand-rolled in Netherveil, where flickering blue vapor sticks dominate the air. Howard lights up the way it used to be done. Outdated? He couldn't care less. Howard's memo. It's not about the smoke, it's the ritual. Striking the match, that first drag. Every exhale feels like flipping off everything, trying to turn me into a machine. I haven't had a cigarette in a long time, but I will tell you that first drag, I still remember what it felt like. How do we get back? What's this? Oh, I can flip these things. Oh, these are dice. Oh, I just noticed that. Okay. How do I get out of the quest log? Maybe I can just click again. Okay, here we are, back in the bar. Howard, how are you? Let's continue. The faint glow of neon signs outside filters through cracked blinds, casting fractured light onto the bar's polished yet worn surface. His whiskey sits on the counter, a faint ring of condensation forming beneath the glass. He hasn't touched it. Instead, his eyes are drawn to the television mounted on the wall, its outdated screen crackling slightly as it broadcasts the evening news. The newscaster says, "In the update on the in suicides across Netherveil, authorities remain on the cause. The to climb, leaving residents shaken and for answers." The low volume of the television leaves the words muddled, forcing Howard to strain to catch every detail. We can ask the bartender to turn it up. We can stand up and adjust it ourselves, or we can move closer to catch every word. Let's stand up and do it ourselves. Howard stands up, steadying himself briefly before making his way to the television. Now, why would he be unsteady if he hasn't drank the whiskey yet? With a deliberate turn of the dial, the volume rises, the strained voice of the newscaster filling the near-empty room. It actually has a dial on it. It must be a truly old-style TV. Oh yeah, I guess it is. Look at that. It's an actual, maybe CRT TV. I didn't even really look at that. I was busy looking at the newscaster. As he returns to his seat, the newscaster's voice grows clearer, outlining the harsh reality gripping Netherveil. What is sitting on top of this TV? Look at those weird wires. The community is in uproar, demanding transparency from law enforcement. What is driving this sudden epidemic of suicides? Who will step forward to shed light on these tragic events? Howard straightens slightly, the weight of the broadcast pressing down on him. I guess he's an investigator or something. The bartender sets the polished glass aside, her movement slowing as she folds her arms and watches the screen for a moment before turning to Howard. This is not a practical outfit. Look at her eyes. Wow. And what is this about? Is this on her skin as a tattoo? Oh, what? Dice Delight. Time to learn the cosmic art of dice rolling. Let's keep it simple. The basics. Every challenge has 4 slots. Dump 1 to 4 dice in them. More dice equals bigger chance to hit that success range. How to roll. Each die equals roll 2 custom D4s. Add them up. Example, roll a 1 and a 2. That's 3, baby. Not great, not terrible. Roll 0 and 0. Oof, blame the universe. Risk and reward. Or risk versus reward. Slapping down 4 dice, big brain energy. But heads up, these ain't your grandma's board game dice. Zeros can still nuke your total. So stacking them doesn't mean auto win. High risk, higher glory. Dice Economy 101. Dice vanish after you roll. Use them, lose them. Run out, automatic fails, fam. Farm dice by exploring, finishing jobs, and poking your nose where it probably doesn't belong. Survival tips from a space vet. Hoard like a loot gremlin. Future missions will try to murder you. Save those dice. Embrace the chaos. Sometimes you gotta yeet 4 dice and pray to the void. Final warning. The universe rewards boldness and punishes fools. Your move, pilot. Okay, alright. I got it, maybe. Probably not. So we take a sip of our whiskey, or intelligence. You hear anything about the suicides? Any rumors going around? The city runs on problems. If it's not falling apart, it's not Netherveil. Foolishness. Oh, there's a trait called foolishness? Wait a minute. Oh boy. Okay, intelligence. An intellectual being who understands its surroundings and can make correct decisions. So these are maybe like the different traits in Disco Elysium. Foolishness. Irrational and erratic thinking leading to impulsive and often comedic decisions. I love that there is a character trait called foolishness. Maybe it's the city's way of promoting extreme sports. Jump off a bridge week, anyone? Anger issues. Uncontrolled outbursts of anger and excessive inconsistency, including anger problems affecting the thought process. Slam your fist on the counter. I don't know if I'm into that. Persuasion. A silent battle where 2 minds clash, each striving to bend the other beneath its will. So, when do you get off? I'd love to take you out for dinner sometime. Dice, the overlord. Let's try it. I don't know what that means. Let's try it. Success range, the overlord. So when do you get off? I'd love to take you out for dinner sometime. Cursed dice -4. Broken dice -3. Emerald dice +1 to total value. Let's do it. In there you go. Oh, this is so cool. These different dice have different effects. Hollow dice -2 to total value. -3 total value for broken dice. Overheat dice, +3 to total value. We'll take it. We're going to go all in. Boldness. We're getting +4. Are we going to be able to get to 12? Rogue dice, +2 to total value. Howard's dice, 0 to total value. Howard's dice, 0 to total value. Okay, these are all Howard's dice. So, can we even get a 12? We're getting +1, +4, +6. And so we're going to need to get 6 on... So we're going to need to get 6 out of these 4. That's not great odds, actually, right? So we have a... Basically, each die is going to be... So it's it's 0 to 3, not 1 to 4. So 0 to 3 gives us a 1.5 average. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. So with our +6, we need to hit or beat the average. Let's go. That was a risk. Failed. What did we get? How do we tell? Okay, well, tell us? Oh, dice bonus 6, item bonus 0, base dice 6. I don't understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks like 12 to me. Maybe we have to beat it. I don't know. The bartender freezes mid-wipe, her hand hovering over the glass. Slowly, she turns to look at him, one eyebrow arching so high it threatens to leave her face. Howard clears his throat, the awkward silence stretching longer than he'd like. He shifts uncomfortably on his stool, reaching for his whiskey. The burn in his chest as he takes a sip does little to erase the sting of the moment. So we could shift gears to intelligence. You hear anything about the suicides? Any rumors going around? You know what? Let's listen to the silence. Howard leans forward, his elbows resting on the counter, staring blankly at his glass. The bar noise fades, the hum of the TV dissolving into a background whisper until all that remains is the hollow silence of his thoughts. And then they start. Is it possible to screw up right from the beginning? Because if so, I think I did. Virtue, you've been here before, haven't you? Sitting in the quiet, pretending it's peace. It's not. It's avoidance. You know, I wish I could do voice as well, because I would do a different voice for each of these internal thoughts. Foolishness says, Hayward, my man, you're staring at that whiskey like it's got all the answers. It don't. Trust me. I've tried. Howard shouts, stop, which is not going to do anything for people's perception of him. The bartender says, you say something? Foolishness says, ask her for another drink, something fancy, a cocktail with one of those little umbrellas. That'd cheer you up. Intelligence says, yes, because a man brooding over suicides absolutely screams Mai Tai. Great suggestion, Foolishness. Shut up! He doesn't need this crap right now, Anger says. The voices clash like storm clouds, rumbling in his sky, the tension stretching him. You know, one of the things I loved about Disco Elysium is that all of the internal voices were voiced differently. I wonder if these folks are eventually going to do that if the Kickstarter does well, because that would be amazing, honestly. It'd be amazing. Howard. Howard, shut the fuck up, all of you, he's saying out loud, which is a little bit nuts. A few heads turn, giving him that familiar look. Another guy losing it after too many drinks. Looks like he's in the right place, at least. Then, as if the universe had been waiting for the right moment, the door to the bar swings open and a figure steps inside. Howard's head lifts, his eyes narrowing as boots scrape across the floor, loud and deliberate. The sound is sharp enough to cut through the haze in his mind. Perception, Reynolds. The ability to perceive and interpret environmental stimuli. It takes... First of all, it has 3 eyes. That's pretty cool. That's a great, great picture. The art is cool. I love the style. I don't think it takes much perception to recognize somebody you already know. Reynolds locks eyes with Howard, his expression coiled tight with urgency. Without hesitation, he crosses the room, his presence slicing through the lazy atmosphere of the bar like a scalpel through flesh. Howard, shouldn't you be out flashing that badge of yours somewhere? Reynolds pulls out the stool next to him, sitting with a sigh. Oh, okay, there's Reynolds, holding a classified folder out like he's just sitting there at Mar-a-Lago. I've been flashing it all day, chasing leads that go nowhere. Thought I'd try something smarter. Must be desperate. Yeah, say what you want, but you're still the guy people call when they've run out of better options. Take that as a compliment. Howard taps the rim of his glass with a finger, a faint smirk tugging at his lips as he lets the silence hang for a moment too long. Oh, look at this. Oh, I see. Oh, the Overlord thing we saw on the bartender was to give you an indication of how difficult it will be to hit that. I think I know what you're going to say. All right, we'll try it. Easy peasy. I like that. It gives you a hint of how difficult it is. And of course, we burned a ton of our dice. Oh boy. Okay, we need 2. Now, can we get... I wonder what happens if we... Like, will we get more dice? Wait, hold on. No. Oh, wow. We can carry a lot, though. Okay, why don't we just use... So our average... All right, we're going to use 3 dice. You know what? Screw it. Fortune favors the bold. $14. 14. Oh, it is 1 to 4, not 0. Actually, no, we did get zeros. Oh, yeah, it's 1 to 3, not 1 to 4. These dice are interesting. They are actually... Each one does 2 numbers. I didn't realize that. I'm also a little confused as to how we didn't get it with 12. I guess you have to exceed. Maybe it even said that and I read that and I don't remember. We crushed it. This is about the suicides, isn't it? So that actually means I wasted a bunch of dice, but whatever. Yeah, too many, too fast, and none of it makes sense. No notes, no connections, nothing tying them together. He leans forward, lowering his voice. At first, we chalked it up to the stress of city life, the usual crap. But the numbers kept climbing. The mayor's office stepped in, called it a public safety crisis, told us to treat it like a case. Pulling a thin folder from his coat, Reynolds drops it onto the counter. Here we go, detective. This could be the case you've been waiting for, Perception says to us. You've dealt with this kind of thing before, Howard. You know how to look where no one else even thinks to. Reynolds nudges the folder closer to him, his eyes locking. If anyone can figure this out, it's you. Don't make me beg, Howard. Intelligence tells us you've been drifting for too long. A case like this could be your way back. Back to the work that mattered. Back to being the detective you once were. Think about the doors it could open. I thought he was also a rock star of some sort. Or the ones it could slam shut. What happens when it all blows up in your face? Desperation like Reynolds's doesn't come without strings. You really want to get tangled in this mess? Foolishness says, a big case means a big payday, right? Sounds like easy money to me. It's not about the money or the reputation. It's about the people. Someone out there needs to help, and you have the skills to make a difference. You know what's right. Wow, virtue sounds kind of... Coming out of my mouth sounds kind of lame. But whatever. I'll do it. These deaths, they deserve justice. New quest unlocked. Smoke, shadows, and body bags. The city's pulse just spiked. Stay sharp. Check your quest log and get ready to hunt. New item added. No refund policy. Sorry. I knew I could count on you, Reynolds says to us. We pick up the folder, flipping it open as we lean back in our seat. Don't thank me yet. Let's see what kind of mess you're dropping in my lap first. Reynolds adjusts his coat, tugging the collar up as though bracing for an unseen chill. It's a big one. Just don't say I didn't warn you. He heads for the door, pausing briefly to glance over his shoulder. You know where to find me. Don't take too long, slacker. The door creeps open, letting in a sharp gust before it closes with a dull thud. Howard leans back, staring at the folder, its weight pressing down like the promise of trouble. We gained 4 dice and 1 XP. The city's silence offers no applause, but it knows you've earned this. Netherveil. Neon burns, shadows bite. Navigation. Welcome back to the gutter, detective. You know these streets better than your own reflection, but let's see if you've still got the chops. Movement controls. Use WASD or hold right-click and drag to glide the map around. Double-click anywhere for hyperskate mode. Yes, his boots have illegal mods. No, don't ask. Exploring locations. Open spots glow with icons. Think cyber breadcrumbs. Click the icon. Howard autopilot's there. Sit back and enjoy the ride. One visit ain't enough. Places change every visit. Come back later and it might not look the same. New dice, new loot, new danger. The city's alive and it's hungry. Dance with it or get eaten. So he's got like cyber wheelies. All right, or Heelys. He's got like cyber Heelys. Here we go. Got it. Oh, oh. Let's take a look at this because I was reading, I wasn't watching. Okay, so he's gonna cyber Heely around, and then click on graveyard. Yes, and what happens? Then we get this cool face. All right, let's see what happens. So this is the Crow Jazz Bar. Let's move the map around. I'm using the WASD keys. Ooh, look at that weird-ass bee blimp. This is the statue. This is the detective's office. I assume that's Reynolds who's the detective, not us. Can't do anything here. So those are our... Wait, here we go. Reynolds' house. Why would we go to Reynolds' house? Okay, let's go to the statue. Look at us floating around. The city exhales as midnight approaches. Howard's footsteps echo too loudly in the abandoned square, his shadow stretching towards the shadow. A jagged spire of oxidized bronze masquerading as a sailboat. Oh yeah, look at that. Its sails are shards of shattered mirrors, reflecting fractured glimpses of the sleeping skyline. That's kind of a neat idea, actually. A flickering street lamp bathes in the jaundiced light, making the structure seem alive, breathing. We can inspect the statue closely. We can squint at the mirrors, our face splintering into a dozen strangers. We can kick it just once for closure. Think about what it's supposed to be, if anything, or try to find peace in the design. Or we can say, leave it, not worth our time. Well, I think it's very unlikely we're going to do that because we're here to play the game. Let's inspect it. Howard crouches. Oh, that was weird. Howard crouches, gloves scraping against the statue's unnervingly smooth base. His fingers trace the seams where metal meets pavement. No bolts, no wells, as if it grew there. We can squint at the mirrors. Oh, we can do the same stuff we did before, or we can say there's definitely something here and we'll do a balanced dice roll, which I'm probably going to take the dice roll things kind of like every opportunity. -4, +3, we have, so we get 4. Let's do one of Howard's normal dice. Let's do 2 of Howard's normal dice. You know what? Do we have, no we don't. I don't want to do overheat dice. I would like to get rid of this hollow die, maybe. 4? I think we can make 4. Yeah, let's, no. If we get another 2, then we'll try that, but let's go. Ah, we did it. We got a 10. I like these dice. Okay, I could have done it. I didn't, I keep forgetting that they actually get 2 numbers. Okay, we did it! As Howard inspects the statue more closely, he discovers something unusual. Nestled in a small, almost imperceptible crevice at the base is a single gumball wrapper. It looks old and slightly out of place. Trash looks out of place at the bottom of the statue. A piece of gum? Weird, but it feels important. You should definitely take it, says Foolishness. Okay, I guess. You must take it, even if it doesn't make sense right now, because foreshadowing. Take it. Perception says, fine, let's take it. Jesus. Item collected. Smells weird. Feels important. Howard takes the gum, trusting his intuition that it might be important, even if he can't see the connection right now. It's a hunch. He decides to follow, hoping it will make sense. Let's kick it for closure. Howard glances around. Empty square, no eyes. He steps back and delivers a firm kick to the statue's base. There we go. That's what justice feels like. Try punching it next. Maybe it drops loot, says Foolishness. I wish I could do that. Let's try to find peace in the design. Howard exhales and lets the noise fade. The statue looms, rain rolling off its surface like slow tears. The longer he looks, the less ugly it becomes. Virtue says to us, you're not broken for needing a moment like this. Pathetic. You'll die soft. The moment shatters. A hover truck backfires. The piece was a lie. Alright, let's leave it. Not worth our time. Howard takes one last long look at the thing before turning away decisively, shoving his hands deep in his pockets as he strides toward the square's exit, telling himself it's just a statue and not worth another second of his time. Not tonight. Okay, let's Heely somewhere else. That didn't open anywhere new, did it? Can I? No, I can only go to the... Okay, the detective's office. Alright, let's go to Reynolds' house. Howard arrives at Reynolds' place, a sleek building tucked between towering skyscrapers and neon lights. The city hums, rain drizzles down in oily streams. Hover cars blur past, and ads flicker in every color imaginable. Even the puddles look like they're part of a rave gone. He knocks. That's weird, a rave gone. A moment later, the door slides open with a soft hiss. Reynolds stands there, his face showing a mix of fatigue and concern. He looks at Howard with a questioning gaze, as if searching for answers in his expression. Didn't think I'd see you again tonight. You got news? Foolishness. Should we say I just missed you? Sure. Is that so? I hope you're not here to chat. Got any updates on the case? Howard says, I'm perfecting my skill of looking busy while making zero progress, so no. No updates yet. Alright, I get it. Let me know if you need anything, or if you come across something new. Will do. Reynolds leans against the doorframe, the fatigue in his eyes a little more evident now. Watch your back out there, Howard. Something about this case doesn't sit right. I'm getting the same feeling. I'll let you know if I dig anything up. We step back into the downpour, collar turned up against the rain. A distorted ad jingle overhead suddenly cuts out, leaving only the static hum of the force field. Is this still Reynolds' house? We can badger him. Oh boy. Okay, so we don't have a ton of places to go. So let's go to the office. Should Healy... Here we come. Here we come. Chapter 2, Digging Deeper. Oh wow, that was a quick chapter. I love this art. It's so cool. Rain clings to Howard's coat as he steps into his office. What is happening here? The damp air settling in the corners like it belongs there. Oh, I wasn't aware that that was our office. I thought it was Reynolds' office. Even though obviously we were some kind of detective. The folder Reynolds left sits dead center, daring Howard to open it. Papers are scattered around it, and a mug of half-finished coffee waits to the side. That coffee's been sitting long enough to make friends with the desk. Don't think it's gonna do you any favors now. We exhale. Gaze shifting to the mug. Big mug hug. The faint aroma of stale caffeine as he picks it up, tilting it slightly and watching the liquid swirl as if the answers might float to the surface. Let's take a sip. You could hear us drink it, slurp it. We lift it to our lips, the bitter cold liquid scraping against the back of our throat. It does nothing to clear his mind, but it fills the silence for a moment, grounding him in the here and now. Every file like this is a reflection of a life undone. It's not just death, detective. It's the echoes of everything left unsaid, every choice that led them here. You owe them at least that much. The longer you sit here, the colder the trail gets. Open the folder, bitch. Start with what you know. I see intelligence is condescending. That's why it called us bitch. Howard pulls the folder closer, its worn edges rough under his fingers. Look at these. These look like Polaroids. I guess they're not. They have buttons, maybe? I don't know. Inside a jumble of photos, reports, and scribbled statements waits to be sorted. No, I guess they are Polaroids. The uneven tabs marking each case catch his eye as he scans the stack, deciding where to begin. We can say a silent prayer for the souls of the departed. We can check our horoscope for guidance. Yes, okay. We lean back in the chair, pulling out his comic and navigating to the astrology app he never admits to having. Astro Insight. Dun dun dun. Are we really doing this right now? Hell yes we are, intelligence. You just relax. Relax. Up, see? I'm with foolishness, and that doesn't surprise anybody who watches my content. Relax. Maybe the stars have answers you don't, you condescending word I'm not going to use right now. He scrolls past a banner ad for Chakra Enhancer 3.0 and a pop-up offering 10% off psychic neural tuning before finally landing on his horoscope. Capricorn, the answers you seek are closer than you think. Trust your instincts, but beware of overthinking. Also, avoid dairy products today, and maybe every day, I don't know. Howard stares at the screen for a moment, then lets out a dry snort. Overthinking? Me? Never. That's right, that's how I approach my channel as well. I never overthink a damn thing. He tosses the comic back onto the desk, the folder waiting for him like a patient teacher. Time to let the stars take a break. He's got work to do. Let's say a silent prayer for the dead. because that's the morally correct thing to do, and virtue is morally correct and acting with good intentions. Howard lowers his head, closing his eyes in quiet reflection. A silent prayer forms in his thoughts, a gesture of respect for the lives lost and the questions they left behind. May they find peace, Virtue says. When he lifts his head, a calm determination takes hold. He turns back to the folder, ready to uncover the truth behind these senseless deaths. Let's start reviewing the case files. We lay the files across the desk, each name a quiet weight on paper, waiting to be understood. Let's just start from the top. Let's examine the Izzo Ogura case. We pull out the Izzo Ogura file, flipping it open. A mess of reports. These people all look weird. They look a little bit like V for Vendetta from the comics. Howard pulls out the Izzo Ogura file, flipping it open. A mess of reports, photos, and dive logs spill onto the desk. Dive logs, huh? Let's review his background. Izzo Ogura, 32, independent Neth finder. Last known residence, Unit 47C, Harlow Tower, lower grids, lift alone. No registered family or emergency contacts. Operated primarily in underground Neth spanner circles. No criminal record or flagged activity prior to the incident. Finance is stable, no debts, no known personal disputes. Digital footprint suggests minimal social interaction outside of work-related transactions. Just another ghost in the system until he wasn't. Let's examine the crime scene. Let's examine the crime scene photo. We pick up the top photo. It was jacked in or something. We pick up the top photo and study it carefully. The image is grainy, taken from the wrong angle, like the investigator didn't want to get too close. Izzo Ogura is slumped forward in his chair, his neural weave still latched onto his head, the sleek headgear hugging his skull like a parasite. A bundle of fiber-thin cables extends from the device, looping over his shoulders, feeding directly into his approval. Near his console, approval must be the name of the console or something. Near his console, a packet of nutrient paste lies open on the desk, its contents squeezed unevenly toward the top. The paste is smudged across the surface like it was set down mid-bite. He wasn't done with it. Let's take a look at the dive log. Howard scans the dive log report. A cleaned up transcription of Ogura's final session. Every entry is accounted for, but the details raise more questions than answered. Session start. Timestamp unavailable. Initializing access protocol. Bypassing external security layer. PID database identified. Running decryption sequence. Firewall breach detected. Security response engaged. Trace attempt detected. Reversing access channel. Countermeasure loop detected. System behaving abnormally. Unexpected data signature found. Source unknown. Nobody just pushes through a PID database. Their system locks you out before you even know you're in. So how the hell did Ogura get that far? He scans the final entry again. No forced disconnect, no shutdown sequence, just a hard stop, like the system wiped itself clean. Howard leans back, rubbing his thumb over the edge of the paper. Was Ogura really that good, or did someone leave the door open for him? Let's review the witness statement. Howard flips to the next page, scanning the statement from Ogura's neighbor. The handwriting is stiff, lacking any trace of emotion. Either the witness didn't care, or they were choosing their words carefully. Now this is interesting. Why? The handwriting is stiff, lacking it. So the neighbor wrote the statement themselves, not some investigating officer? That seems weird. I don't know about that. Lived next door to Ogura for a while. Didn't have much to say. He kept to himself. Never caused trouble. Last time I saw him? No idea. Maintenance went in after his rent auto payment failed. Door was still locked from the inside. Let's check the autopsy notes. We flip to the autopsy report, scanning past the standard medical jargon for anything that stands out. The cause of death is what he expected. Self-induced neural overload. Can I scroll this back up? Oh, I can. Okay. Continue. External trauma, none. No bruising, no defensive wounds, no sign of struggle. Among the listed personal effects recovered from the body, one item stands out. A crumpled slip of paper found in Ogura's pocket. The ink smudged, but still legible. He said it would help, that I'd feel lighter. I trusted him to fix me. Now I don't know what's left of me. Curiouser and curiouser. He trusted someone to fix him? What if they did? What if this was the result? Should we think of our own failures? Should we try to detach? Or should we let anger take over? You know what? I think Howard is stuck in his own head. So let's go think of your own failures. The words pull at something old, buried, just deep enough to sting. The case file in front of him feels heavier now, like it's asking him to make it right where he couldn't before. We close the file, every detail of Izzo Agura etched into our mind. Now it's time to move on to the others. Let's examine the Serena Koss case. Serena Koss, a corporate executive for Ectovision, died after jumping from the balcony of her luxury high-rise apartment. Let's examine the photos. She has the same eyes as everyone else. The images show Serena Koss lying on the pavement, her body sprawled like a discarded marionette. One of her legs is dislocated at the hip, another twisted so unnaturally it barely looks attached. Her head, or what's left of it, oh, that's not nice, has split open against the pavement, although it looks like she's throwing up. Her brain, half mashed, half intact, spills unevenly from the ruin of her skull, streaking the concrete like something that tried to crawl away. He's seen plenty, but this sticks like the fall hadn't just killed her, it had unmade her, rearranged her body into something awful, something wrong. Unmade her, that's cool. Let's review the security footage. We flip through the security report, eyes moving over the transcript. Her balcony railing is low, barely waist high, easy to climb, just as easy to trip over. But the footage is clear. She didn't fall. She stepped. At 02:14, Serena Koss walked onto her balcony, stood motionless for 6 minutes and 32 seconds, then moved forward like it was the most natural thing in the world. One detail catches his attention. 02:20:46. Hey, that's 6 minutes and 32 seconds. Incoming comic call. Caller ID unknown. 02. Oh yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, okay, this is it. 02:20:48. So 2 seconds later, subject steps forward. 6 minutes of nothing, then a call, then a jump. Someone reached her at the last second. Whoever it was, they didn't try to stop her. Or maybe they convinced her to do it. Let's check the autopsy notes. Howard flips to the autopsy report, looking for anything unusual, besides the fact that she threw herself off her balcony. The cause of death is obvious, blunt force trauma from high-altitude fall. The injuries are exactly what you'd expect from that kind of drop. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's skim the witness statements. Howard scans the report, pausing at 2 relevant entries, her approvals, biometric records, and a statement from a neighbor who had been paying attention. A household assistant, synced to her approval, tracked her vitals like clockwork. No irregularities, no stress indicators, except for one anomaly right before she stepped off the balcony. 2:20 a.m. Serotonin levels spiked abnormally high. No recorded physical stimulus. What are we talking about? Somebody called her. A neighbor, someone she spoke to now and then, had seen her outside more often than usual. She stood out there for hours. Even in the rain, she wouldn't move, just staring at the skyline. I asked her about it once. She said she liked the wind, said it made everything feel lighter. That word again, lighter. Ooh, you're doing a good job of perceiving perception. Howard closes the file, every detail of Serena Koss etched into his mind. Now it's time to move on to the others. Let's examine Atelis Gorvez. Howard flips open the file, scanning the first few pages. Atelis Gorvez, tech doc, found dead in his workshop, surrounded by unfinished augments and scattered tools. Cause of death, self-inflicted asphyxiation via biogel exposure. No signs of struggle, no forced entry. His own hands were at his throat, deep scratches along his neck where he tried and failed to breathe. The biogel had hardened inside his airway, sealing it shut. Weird. Gorvez used this stuff every day. If he wanted to die, why pick something so slow? Let's look at the photos. Howard picks up the first photo. Gorvez is slumped in the corner of his workshop, his back against the wall, legs sprawled out, fingers curled stiff near his throat. So, if he did it on purpose, he certainly had second thoughts. His lips are blue, his jaw locked open, a thin trail of dried blood running from one nostril. The second photo shifts to his workbench. Tools scattered, a half-assembled augment clamped in place, case pried open. The biogel vial lies nearby, overturned, residue hardened around the rim. Perception tells us he was working on something right up to the moment he died. Let's review the autopsy report. Howard flips through the autopsy report, focusing on the key details. Nothing unusual stands out. Okay. Asphyxiation due to biogel, expansion in the airway, external trauma, deep scratches along the neck and chest, self-inflicted, toxicology, no traces of drugs, alcohol, or sedatives. Let's check the last recorded conversation. Howard scrolls through the report until he finds Gorvez's last comic transmissions. Most are business-related, orders, client requests, supply shipments. But one contact keeps appearing. Always late at night, always brief. 2210, outgoing call, private line. Gorvez. Same time tomorrow? Unknown. Of course, progress takes consistency. Call ended 1 minute later. The same exchange had been logged every few days for the past 3 months. No details, no names, no context. Sounds like regular appointments, but for what? Let's examine his personal notebook. Howard picks up Gorvez's worn, grease-stained notebook, its pages filled with quick notes, half-legible scribbles, and workshop schedules. No digital logs, no approval sync, just ink on paper. Most of it is routine. Augment diagnostics, price estimates, follow-ups. But the last few pages are different, messier, written with a shaky hand. Delay on shipment, wrong parts again. Order more Neuralink circuits. No more stim boosters, too unstable. Near the bottom of the last page, barely legible. If it happens again, I have to tell someone. Howard closes the file, every detail of Atelis Gorvez etched into his mind. Now it's time to move on to the others. Wait, we already did the others. 1 XP gained, pulled from ink-stained papers, and sleepless hours. Howard leans back, rubbing his eyes. 3 suicides, clean on paper, but something stinks. He's been poring over the files for hours, and nothing lines up the way it should. Rain. Ooh, that's a good thunder sound. Rain crawls down the window in uneven trails, neon reflections bleeding into the dark. For a moment, he just listens to the city, to the hum of things moving unseen. His fingers tap against the desk, slower now. He needs another angle, someone who sees things differently. If only she was here, she always knew where to start. His limbs grow heavy. The words on the files blur together. Just a minute. He just needs a minute. The rain whispers against the glass as his head dips forward onto the desk. And here we are at the end of Chapter 2, starting Chapter 3, Questions and Answers, next morning. A dull ache settles in Howard's neck, the kind that comes from falling asleep in the wrong place. Okay, we're going to call it here because this seems like a reasonable place to stop at the beginning of Chapter 3. I'm enjoying this. I actually don't know how good it is for content, unless you like to listen to me read, but I am going to keep playing. So let me know what you think, if you like it. I mean, I guess you could just like the video and view it, and that would let me know. And as I said, the demo is in Steam. I'll put a link in the description of the video. And these folks are going to kick off a Kickstarter in a couple days. So thanks so much, as always, for your support. I love you very much. And please remember, if you have pets, to have them spayed or neutered.